Good morning. Yeah. I know. Every morning I prepare my cats medicine this way. I roll it out like this, and then I break it up like this, just so in case anyone wants to cat sit for me. This is how I do it. Wow. Oh my fucking god. There's literally a moth dead by my soap. I think this is a moth. I've been up for a few hours. I journaled, which I'm trying to get back in the habit of because I'm way too, internet brained right now. I think I'm gonna go for a run now. It rained a lot yesterday, and so at least from my bathroom window, it felt very, cool outside, kind of breezy. And it is sunny still, but just, way more comfortable for a run. And I've been also trying to get back in the habit of running, something else I stopped doing 2 months ago when I downloaded Hinge. And I've been wanting to go to the Met, so I think I'm gonna do that maybe later if I keep my promises to myself, which I hope I do. And I'm also gonna see some friends and hang. It should be a sweet day today, and I'm excited to spend it together.
I've officially hit my museum fatigue moment, and so I felt it was time to leave, and I'm gonna go get food and see my friends. I feel so uncomfortable vlogging here. I do not like it, but I'm doing it for you, and that's so kind. And honestly, almost no one is even looking, so it's really okay. But yeah, it was good. It's kind of funny. I don't know. I'm in a weird mood.
Today we'll be using this. Oh, I guess I should come stand here. Come on. I've rolled out the yoga mat. Whoa, I can see whoa. I can see my building reflected in the window of the apartment across from mine, and I'm just having a whole new perspective of what it looks like from their point of view. You can tell I'm in a weird mood. I've been in a weird mood kind of all month, I feel like. I don't know. It's really fair because I went through a situationship, and I think that did kind of throw me off a little bit of my sense of routine, just because I was inviting a new person into my life and expending more emotional, like mental energy, I guess just like on that situation, and have been needing to recalibrate. And yeah, so June has just felt kind of weird, like fine, good. It's nice to kind of come back to myself and to know that I have like a solid sense of self to come back to, which I couldn't always say about myself when I was younger and going through like dating experiences. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a period of time where you kind of need to like reset yourself, or reorient, I think, rather, like your energy back into things that you know have the capacity to hold you. I literally have only listened to like 5 minutes of this podcast, but there's this podcast, like episode, I mean, but there's a podcast that I really like called Being Well. The podcast covers a lot of like mental health and like psychology and relationship sort of related topics, from the perspective of Dr. Rick Hansen, who's a very like established psychologist, and his son, Forrest Hansen, who I think is also like a life coach. The podcast is awesome, but they just like put out this episode about self-sabotage, and genuinely only listened to like the first 5 or 10 minutes, so I'm sure that there's so much more to learn. But I was like listening to it on the tail end of a run that I was doing the other day, and it just got me thinking about myself and how busy I keep my calendar, like where I couldn't really tell you like the last time I had more than like an evening to myself a week without plans, like, and even then that's pretty rare. I normally like always have somewhere to be, always have something to do, and that's so wonderful. I've learned, I mean, I like to be busy, and I do feel energized around other people, and so I think it's good that like my calendar is pretty full, but I think sometimes it comes at the sacrifice of like a level of kind of energetic stability within me, where I feel physically, like right now, I feel so tired and kind of disoriented because I'm not like resting well, and I don't really have like any kind of grounding routine. I'm just kind of like go, 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 and every day is different. And again, that's pretty exciting, but it can also feel a bit ungrounded and like disorienting, again, I think is the right word. And so I think with the thrust of what a potential like romantic situation like kind of forcing me into just like recalibrating myself, I think it's a good opportunity to also like slow down and recalibrate more holistically, like not just in the sense of like my romantic engagement, but also like my life more broadly, and like recognize like maybe some of my own sort of like subversive way of self-sabotaging myself is that like I don't really factor in enough time to like do the basic things of taking care of myself, so that like I feel like energetically balanced and not like spreading myself too thin, and you know, just ticking the basic boxes of like I'm getting like pretty consistent and like good amount of sleep every night, and I'm eating like my 3 square meals a day, and like just having the stuff ready in my fridge, like, and I am taking time to like slow down and not always be like being like, oh yeah, there's somewhere I need to be. And I don't know, that's just something that it's interesting to think about how something that can look kind of positive on the surface, like being so busy with plans with people I love and like going out and experiencing the city and stuff, like it's good, but it can also be self-sabotaging, and I guess in the sense of it's like maybe going into excess. And I think a lot about like this whole idea of like a pendulum swinging back and forth, like kind of going from one extreme to the other, and like how I am perpetually trying to get to somewhere more in the center that's like balanced, and I guess like not trying to achieve the perfect middle, because that's not possible, but is there somewhere where I can like generally be that keeps me like closer to center than like on either extreme pole. And I think the last couple months I've been like on the sort of extreme like extroversion, going out, keeping busy, being around people, like all very wonderful and very fun. But I think I need to learn to wind it in just a little bit. I was saying June is going to be when I lock in, but now it's almost the end of June. So we're going to say July is when I'm going to lock in and try to find a little bit more balance and hold myself a little bit more accountable to goals that will shape my life in positive ways, but that perhaps require me to show up with a little bit more sense of like personal responsibility and like dedication, which feels intimidating. This is my bag. I packed it. I thought about packing it last night, but then I didn't, and so I did it this morning. But first we have a snack, salt and vinegar chips, of course. And then I brought, oh, I keep forgetting I have book club later. I brought
book.
this book about degrowth and like anti-capitalism. And then I brought Middlemarch.
Oh my god.
And I brought my journal. And I brought the artist's way. And then I also have another book. And I brought this book.
I love it.
Just
Day trip, 5 books.
I mean, I'm just trying to pack light. I'm looking very tan from my beach day, which is fun. I never really do that. I just got back from work and from grocery shopping, and I've got to say, like, because of this like weird, bad, permanent feeling mood that I'm in, I've just like not wanted to cook at all. But I did make something really yummy for lunch. Hold on. I have leftovers. They probably don't look as intriguing now. But just so you can see, it's zucchini, carrot, achoy, which has like a mustardy kind of quality to it, and also like seitan vegan beef. And I seasoned it with just some regular soy sauce, dark soy sauce, chili crisp, sesame oil, and MSG, and pepper, and salt. And I also added some sesame seeds to serve. And yeah, it was good. And it made me remember that I can make a yummy meal without needing like a whole elaborate recipe. And that sometimes really simple things are very tasty. So maybe with that ethos, I can make a good dinner for myself tonight. And hopefully feel satisfied and not like accidentally somehow open my Uber Eats app and order takeout again, which is what I did yesterday for lunch and dinner. I've been getting myself flowers lately, so I got these. They're pretty. They weren't the first ones that I was drawn to, but they looked the best, and now that they're like here, I'm pretty pleased with them. It's kind of weird. Should I cut them a little shorter, maybe? Yeah. Cute. Okay, maybe a little more. Maybe a little more. Fugaze.
I can smell the olive in it. It smells really good. It's not the prettiest looking, but it'll do. I just got back from this play that by the time this video is out, I very much doubt that this will still be showing. But I really liked it. It was really quite bizarre. It was so like sweet and odd and very wholesome feeling. The play features Julia Masley, who's an award-winning clown from Estonia based in London. And basically the goal of this play is she just is there to help us solve our problems. So she goes around the audience asking people what their problems are and then tries to find the solution. At my show, there was someone who just was like, wanted ice cream. And so someone went and got them ice cream. There was someone whose back was sore and there was a masseuse in the audience. So then someone gave them a back massage. I think my favorite of the different problems that arose was there is one woman, I think named Carolyn, who is an art teacher. She teaches kids art and also adult art classes. And she was saying that she's struggling to pay her rent and she struggles every single month. She needed about $1,000 to make rent this month. And the performer Julia had Carolyn come down and just like write her Venmo on a chalkboard. And then like everyone in the audience pretty much like took out their phone and Venmo'd her like $5 or more. And I think it was an audience of like, I don't know, 100, 150 people or something. I don't actually know if there's that many in there, to be honest. But let's say there's like 200 and everybody Venmo's this woman $5, like that will cover her rent. And I don't know, there's just something like so beautiful about that. And like, I think just a nice way of thinking about like how we can support our community. Like if a lot of us come together in small ways, like we can make a big difference for someone. So it's not always about doing the biggest thing or the loudest thing, but just about finding like collective power to do a bunch of little micro things. And I don't know, I thought that was so sweet. Throughout the play, I was like internally wondering about like what problem I would ask for help on if she came up to me. And I think what I landed on, which felt like a safe, like one that could either end up being very silly or I could get some like really genuine and sincere advice or perspective, is just like, I need more self-confidence and more self-esteem. And I think that this is something that I have seen so much growth within myself in the last year. It's dawning on me now that like this time last year, I was feeling incredibly depressed and like very downtrodden and sort of like hopeless in a way about like my life. In the sense of just like feeling like really lost, really malaised, and really like burrowing into myself rather than like stretching myself out into the world. And I think it was around this time that I signed up for a course at the library to start learning music production a little bit, and not really like with the goal of like becoming a music producer or doing anything really crazy with like the skills that I learned, but more so like honoring this part of myself that like has always wanted to pursue music and like has a musical dreams and desires, but that I kind of just shoved into the back of like the closet of my life. And I think I just wanted to do something that was kind of self-honoring for this part of me that has always been there and that I kind of continue to touch down into and then get taken away from and distracted from. but that I continue to return to because clearly, like, it has some call, like, you know, for me, or something important that I'm meant to discover about myself, like, through it. At least that's what I believe. And anyway, I'm just realizing now that, like, I think that class and, like, the people that I met within it really were catalysts for where I'm at now in, like, my journey as a person. And I've been through a lot in the last, like, about year or so since I started this, like, process of, I guess, like, just deciding to do the things that I want to do, even though I don't feel confident, or even though I am still scared or anxious or uncertain. I'm just letting myself do them now. And, like, I can feel the difference in the way that I carry myself and the way that I show up in the world. I do think I show up with more confidence now. And it's not like in a overt, like, I know I can do XYZ type of way. Like, I know it's like I'm gonna succeed exactly, but it's that whether or not I, like, succeed on, like, whatever terms I've decided are, like, valuable, I know that I can handle whatever it is. And even the uncomfortable things, like feeling embarrassed or doing a bad job or feeling anxious, like, or, you know, getting your heart broken, like, bigger things like that. Like, I just know that I can handle it now. And that is a kind of confidence. And maybe it's not, again, super practical in the sense of, like, I feel confident that I'm, like, a great musician or great at my job or something more practical, but in the more holistic sense, like, I do have, like, a confidence in the person that I am and am becoming. And I'm confident that, I guess, that I always have my back and that I can figure shit out, and that no matter what things look like externally, like, I always have myself to fall back on, and I'm confident that, you know, I won't abandon myself. And I think that that's a good thing. And definitely did not expect that to come from taking a class at the library. But you never really know, like, what choices you make in your life that are going to kind of have a domino effect on where you go from there. And is it always going my way? No. But am I still, like, continuing to learn and grow and become more sure within myself and more comfortable just, like, being who I am and, like, letting people see the truth of myself? Yes. And I don't know, that's cool. So I'm like, maybe that's not a problem I need solved. Maybe I've been doing the solving all along. And I don't know, it's kind of nice to think about.